I just want to recognize all of our department heads in their care, concern, and consideration of making sure that they have the right funding, the appropriate funding to make this town work. So I just wanted to say thanks to them.
You know, I'd say on behalf of the council, I see some of them online and some of them in the room. Huge thank you. I know how much work goes into it. I also know that this year Mr. Borg introduced the zero-based budget approach, which forced people to take a clean look at their budgets. I think that was really helpful. I know it's a team effort putting together all of the documentation that led us to the first meeting in January through the February presentation, and then that kind of rolled into the final budget and all of the finance subcommittee meetings. If I had to estimate what, maybe 22 hours plus or minus of finance subcommittee meetings.
Couple more to go.
And the department heads were all part of that every step of the way. Hours and hours and hours of recorded video outlining all of this to put us in this position today where we're in a really strong financial spot and a ton of transparency about what it took to get us there. So kudos to everybody that's been involved in that.
Measure 2021-48. The Finance Committee voted 6-0. You'll sense you'll sense a theme coming. It was 6-0 for everything. Fiscal year 22 general fund annual appropriation revised. The town of North Attleboro raised and appropriate a sum of $98,665,608 to provide for all the expenses for the maintenance and operation of the town's several departments and activities for the fiscal year 22.
All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 9-0.
To approve Measure 2021-49, revolving accounts annual authorization.
None. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 9-0.
2150, we just alluded to this one moments ago on the OPEB funding. This is revised, reflecting the $100,000 that was moved to the schools to help fund full-day kindergarten. We just put that back with the vote we just took a few minutes ago.
None. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
9-0. Opposed? Sorry. Opposed. 9-0 in favor of Measure 2021-50.
Fiscal year 22 funding of the 53rd week salary reserve. The Finance Committee recommended favorable action on this. 6-0. It's a standard line item we do every year.
All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 9-0.
Move to approve Measure 2021-52, fiscal year 22 quinquennial evaluation
All
funding.
those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 9-0 approving Measure 2021-52.
I move to approve Measure 2021-55, fiscal year 22 solid waste enterprise fund utilization of retained earnings revised, that the town of North Attleboro raise and appropriate the sum of $350,000 from the solid waste enterprise fund retained earnings for the purpose of funding the costs associated with the purchase of various items outlined
All
below.
those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 9-0 approving Measure 2021-55. Next up is 56.
Measure 2021-56, fiscal year 22 sewer enterprise fund annual appropriation revised.
All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 9-0 approving Measure 2021-056. Next up is 2157.
Move to approve Measure 2021-57, fiscal year 22 sewer retained earnings, that the town of North Attleboro raise and appropriate the sum of $350,000 from the sewer enterprise fund retained earnings for the purpose of funding the costs associated with the purchase of various items outlined below.
All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 9-0.
To approve Measure 2021-58, fiscal year 22 sewer enterprise fund capital plan projects for borrowing.
All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 9-0 approving 2158. Next up is 59.
I move to approve Measure 2021-59, fiscal year 22 water enterprise fund annual appropriation
Next
revised.
up is 60.
Move to approve Measure 2021-60, fiscal year 22 water enterprise fund capital plan projects for borrowing.
All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 9-0.
Move to approve Measure 2021-61, fiscal year 22 Comcast PEG Access Enterprise Fund annual appropriation.
None. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 9-0 approving Measure 2161.
To approve Measure 2021-62, the fiscal year 22 Verizon PEG Access Enterprise Fund appropriation.
None. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 9-0 approving Measure 2021-062.
I move to approve, very happily move to approve Measure 2021-63, fiscal year 22 acceptance of certain property tax exemptions revised.
Favor state aye.
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 Opposed? 9-0 and kudos. I know that was
Thank
when guys worked on it.
I move to approve Measure 2021-64, establish a maximum dollar amount for the town manager line item transfers.
I did object to $10,000 because, yes, it does allow for best practice with 30B, but it also $10,000 is the threshold for the contract.
I would just respond that we had only one instance in the past year where that $10,000 threshold would have been beneficial, and it was the traffic light.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yes, opposed?
Yes, opposed. So 8-1.
I oppose too.
7-2. Anyone
I
else?
agree.
Okay. 7-2. Approving measure 2164.
To approve measure 2021-65, the fiscal year 22 capital improvement projects, utilization of free cash.
None. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 9-0, approving measure 2165. So just one last summary comment. Said it probably 10 times over the last couple months. Most transparent, well put together budget process. Kudos to the financial staff in Town Hall, Mr. Borg, Ms. Billingcoff, everybody who was involved in this, the department heads, finance committee, and would be remiss without just acknowledging the resident members of the finance subcommittee, because that's of all the subcommittees you can get yourself involved in, that's a heavy lift. So a big thank you to those folks as well.